Welcome back to Brutal Damage. This is Lance, and today we're bringing you a battle report between Mercenaries and Protectorate. The Mercenary army is a Rulic force piloted by General Ossrum, while the Protectorate side is captained by Anson Durst, Rock of the Faith. Let's take a look at the armies and get into the match. So this Ossrum list is the complete opposite of the Warjack heavy Ossrum list that I ran in a previous voiceover battle report. This list is in Hammer Strike, obviously. Mainly because of the 2-inch deployment increase, helping your speed 4 dudes, but the warriors also gain tough, and we're taking a ton of warriors in this force, and as well as the third theme benefit being heavies and weapon crews getting repo 3. We have 2 weapon crews and a heavy here, so I mean Hammer Strike just makes sense with Ossrum most of the time, unless you're going crazy with the regulars and all the new Riot Quest solos and that nonsense. So this is the list. We've got one Ghordson driller, one Grundback blaster, and then 2 gunners as the battle group. We're taking 2 Hammerfall siege crawlers because I have them painted and they're amazing. We are taking Harlowe, effectively the Rulic Archon, as well as 1 Steelhead Gunner as our solos. And then we have 2 units of free artillery corps as rec options. Harlowe being the 3rd rec option, and then we are taking 2 full units of the Horgenhold Forge Guard, and one of them is taking the new CA from Riot Quest, Stone Lord Guvul Godor, who is absolutely amazing. So the main theme of this list is that it's pretty hard hitting. There's some good recursion between the siege crawlers and Guvul. Ossrum himself fixes the speed 4 problem for a turn. He's got snipe that goes on Harlowe, which is what really makes him the Rulic Archon. Fire for effect is great on the artillery corps and can also be hot swapped to either of the siege crawlers if you really need to up your odds at hitting a crit stagger. And then the other point I wanted to make was that Tactician Rulic is very important here from, I think it's 9 inches command from Ossrum. Just Tactician Rulic base, there's no other stipulation there, so having this many bodies being able to go through each other 9 inches away from Ossrum is a big deal. So let's take a look at what Protectorate is bringing to the board. On the Protectorate side of things, I'm running Durst in Faithful Masses theme. This theme gives Hand of Vengeance on the heavies, which is +2 to hit or damage if a living warrior model died within 5 of them, which is really how this list tends to crack armor, because I don't have Hermit or really any other armor debuff with Durst. The other benefit of Faithful Masses is a wall template within 20 inches that you can place. I completely space this benefit and you will not see a wall on the Protectorate side of the battle. So that is my fault for missing that, but that would also be really good, bringing Durst up to, def 15 if you're swinging over the wall at him, and gives him a little more cover against shooting. To couple with decel, which would make him even more tanky. So Lance, if you read the damn benefits, use them all for next time. So when building this list, I was really going for the typical Durst armor wall. I really like Templars with Durst just because they can get to arm, I believe it's arm 25 under feet, and you just park Durst next to him. You can really jam up the field, and there's not much that's going to kill Durst that turn. And then I'm running in this list a bunch of 1 unit of Holy Zealots with a Monolith Bear. They're there primarily to fuel the Sanctifiers, but I was playing around with it, and I thought maybe if the Menite Archons could get up there and they sing the Fervor song, then they're throwing POW 16 bombs, which is not bad. The Rat's still terrible, but it seemed like a decent idea that I was kind of playing around with here, so I'm not totally sold on it. I think maybe I'll try a version with skirmishers instead, as what's going to fuel the Sanctifiers. Plus they have AD, so that would help too. But I'm trying to stick to fully painted armies for these voiceovers, and I don't have skirmishers fully painted yet. So as far as the rest of the list, I have 3 free units of initiates, because they are just tanky, and with set defense, you can really put a wall up in front of your arm 25 Warjacks if you need to. And it's another way to score circle zones if the choir's not there or if all the zealots are dead. Besides that, we have 1 champion that I don't think I mentioned yet of the Order of the Wall, because it's a gorgeous model and they can really flank pretty hard. And then the list rounds out with a single vassal mechanic and a rack. So let's check out the deployment and let's get this thing going. So Mercs won the roll-off and decided to go first. Just being a speed 4 army, even with Ossrum, I usually try to go first if I can with Mercs. So they chose that. And the Protectorate side chose the left side of the table, thinking that rubble looked nice to hide from Harlowe in. And there's not a ton of Pathfinder on the Protectorate side to get around the trees on the right. So I didn't really want to be forced to split my army that way if I were to take that side. So as far as the deployment goes for Mercs, we have Ossrum right above the forest. We have some gun bunnies surrounding him along with the soul driller. We have a siege crawler in the top and the bottom. There is a forge guard unit in the top and a forge guard unit in the bottom. The unit in the bottom is the one with the Guvul Godor attachment. And then we have split the artillery, one up top and one below, as well as the Steelhead Gunner is below. For the Protectorate side, they then decided to, I guess, bulk up as much as possible. We got Durst in the middle. All 4 jacks are within 6 to 8 inches of Durst. We have both Archons kind of taking a flank. We have the Holy Zealots as the front line in the middle, in front of a Sanctifier, because we expect them to die and we expect the Sanctifier to collect those souls. And yeah, then we just have the rack where it goes in the rubble, as well as all 3 units of initiates ready to protect whatever they can as we move up the board. And then finally we have the champion in the bottom flanking wide like you do. So let's get into the game. We start here as the Merc player with the sole objective of getting up as far as we can on the board, since we were able to go first and we do have that +2 to deploy. So first off here, we're activating the Forge Guard unit that has Guvul Godor, and he did the Desperate Pace ability, so we're up a little bit farther than the other unit that's going right now. I believe next we activate Ossrum. Nope, we're running a driller. The driller runs up as far as possible. We have the artillery corps walk up. Ossrum then goes and puts fire for effect on that artillery in the top zone. He puts snipe on Harlowe, which is just stupid good. And then he also walked 4 inches up to be right behind Harlowe. Harlowe then walks up to that sweet spot behind the building. So he's got 16-inch range there with a no line of sight shot, and he's got 4 of them. So he is in a great position right there. We then are activating a couple gun bunnies who run up, and thanks to Tactician Rulik, they can just get up as far as possible, running over the top of the Forge Guard. We then have the other artillery run up, thanks to Desperate Pace from the Steelhead Gunner, and both siege crawlers run up 10 to conclude Rulik turn 1. Protectorate turn 1. So my thoughts here are obviously get up the board as far as I can. I don't want to feat with Durst this turn. I think it'd be a waste. Here I'm going first with the Holy Zealots, excuse me, and I'm just flooding the board in the middle. I might have been a little too aggressive here with them, as you'll see in later turns, but I wanted to get them up the board and I wanted to get my Sanctifiers some souls. So next I think we're going to activate the champion of the Order of the Wall. Could be mistaken. Yeah, we're measuring 14 inches off that Forge Guard unit. Yes, I did say 14 with feet and Guvul's Desperate Pace. So that's a pretty respectable range. So the champion stays out of that, and I tow 1 initiate in with set defense to hopefully bait a charge that would miss. I keep the Archon out of 14. I move the Sanctifier up behind the Zealots to collect their souls, as they will surely die to some sprays, at least some of them. Next we have a Templar who walked up to be a shield guard for the Monolith Bearer if he runs out of self-sack targets. I believe I'm contemplating Durst here. Yeah, Durst is going to charge a gun bunny to be able to get a little farther up. He puts up D-Cell on himself, and he also puts up Hallowed Avenger on the Templar, right to his right. We're then advancing a unit of Initiates above the Archon that ran in the top zone. The Sanctifier is bumbling up. You can't really see him, but he's behind the top Archon as well. The Mechanic is staying outside of 17 inches of the battle engine, because he doesn't want to just get popped being one of the only solos over there that's going to be camping that flag. We run with Acquire and we passage 3 of the 4 jacks. Not really much else to do besides passage, just kind of a good habit to get into. And then we're going to run this last unit of Initiates to protect Durst and some jacks. So Merc's turn 2. Ossrum starts here by upkeeping Fire for Effect on the artillery and snipe on Harlowe. I guess the main goal here when I was starting this turn is that I wanted to clear as many Zealots as possible, but only if I was able to get to the Monolith Bear, because they have that, I believe it's called Greater Destiny, where every Zealot that was killed in the past turn comes back as part of a mini feat. So if I'm going to go for the Zealots, I need to either take a couple to make it not worth it to bring it back, or try to take all of them, or just the Monolith Bears. So here I'm starting with the artillery. Pops a great shot into, I think 4 or 5 of the Zealots. So we're just going through here and double checking that I don't have high explosive. I don't, but even without it, you can see we still absolutely decimate, I believe it was 4 of the Zealots, which fills up the Sanctifier, but the Sanctifier is in a great spot where we're not going to do much to him this turn, and we need to kill some models here. So I think I figured out there that one would have lived due to D-Cell, so I put him back. But the main idea here is kill what I can. It's definitely feat turn. I need to get into the zones and start scoring my flag. So that's the overall goal here. Next, we're going to go with some gun bunnies. These gun bunnies are going to spray down a couple more Holy Zealots with powerful attack, being one of my favorite rules in the faction. We take them out no problem. As you can see here, I'm going to the other side of the table. This makes the Midnight Archon mad and gives him swift vengeance. So it was within 5 that one of his buddies died. I'm going to go with the other couple gun bunnies shortly after this. Tuck up here, this is one of the single shot gun bunnies who kills another Zealot. Activate the final single shot gun bunny, kills another Zealot. So while we are filling up the Sanctifiers, we are killing guys, and it looks like there is the Monolith Bear and 3 other Zealots left. So now I'm activating Harlowe, who aims, and he's taking shots at the Monolith Bear, who is sack pawning to the Zealots around him. So this right now is the 4th shot that I shot at the Monolith Bear, that the Templar, I don't know if you can see it here, but the Templar did shield guard that, and I don't think I did any damage. So we have just the Monolith Bear left. So now I'm all in on this plan. I need to kill the Monolith Bear or the entire unit comes back, and I've done nothing. So Ossrum activated now, and he cast Energizer, Feat, and put Bullet Dodge on himself and moved into that forest. So we just tucked some of the jacks away to make room for these Desperate Paste charging Forge Guard. This is the unit with Guvul, so they have Desperate Paste, so they charge, they have a 14 threat, I believe. So I'm able to get 2 on that Monolith Bear. I'm able to get, these are just runs on the Archon, but I'm able to charge the 1 Initiate that's in the bottom zone. He's going to get set defense, so it's going to be 8s to hit, but got to get up there, got to flood the zone, and with enough recursion I have in my list, I'm not too worried about losing even half of my unit here. So that first charge blows up the damage and kills the monolith bear, which is fantastic for me as the merc player. So those zealots are not going to be able to come back. That's the entire unit wiped in one turn, which is pretty awesome. So here we're activating, trying to figure out where we're going to put the number 1 battle engine. He ends up taking his big shot. Takes a couple shots of the champion. His big shot, I think it was that roll right there, does do a crit stagger. It was that one right there, the double 4. I think we maybe do a point or two of damage, but the big thing there being that he is staggered, so he loses his initial attacks. We have the gunner run up to cap the flag. Next, we're going to go with the other unit of Forge Guard. Looks like first we do the top siege crawler. He's taking some shots at. I think he takes one at an Archon. He takes a bunch of shots at these initiates, trying to break just one of them to lower that cumulative arm. I don't think, if I remember correctly, yeah, one of them missed. It's not going so well for that top siege crawler. Not getting the staggers. I think we maybe shot at the Archon, and there's a Templar behind it that shield guarded. I think we might have done a little bit of damage there, but here we are press forwarding with the other Forge Guard unit. I really want to make a thick, tough wall in front of that zone to make it really hard for the Protectorate opponent to get into my zone to contest, because battle engines score those rectangular zones. So I'm able to kill, looks like 2 of the initiates on the charge, which is great. I'm also contesting that flag with probably 3 Forge Guard. So that's also great for the scenario presence. We're scoring at the bottom of next turn, so I'm just making sure I'm not giving away free points here. At least make the Menoth player do a little work before the scoring starts. This was an artillery shot at the Archon. Okay, so this was where the Templar shield guarded. Templar shield guarded this, and I did like 10 points of damage to it, thanks to Brutal Damage. Shout out to the channel. So that was great. And looks like we are repoing back thanks to the theme benefit. Running the driller over. And this should be close to the end of the turn. Protectorate turn 2. So Durst starts first by upkeeping Hallowed Avenger on the Templar that's nearest him. He's going to go and allocate 1 to the Central Templar. And now I believe we are doing a Swift Vengeance, hopefully, move on the Archon. Yes, okay. Here's the Swift Vengeance move. Not just going to get in position to be able to charge and do a crazy Thresher during his actual activation. So I think I'll say that main goal of this turn would be to obviously hit back on the attrition. It's going to be a little tough with his feet up, but this is definitely a feat turn for me, where I'm noticing a little bit of weakness in the middle of the merc zone, so I'm hoping to jam up a couple jacks in the middle, hopefully clear out as much as I can in the middle as well, to make it so that the mercs will have to pick either top or bottom to focus on. So here I'm putting a proxy down for where I think I was measuring if Durst could boundless himself in charge there, or if this is just going to be the Hallowed Avenger Templar. Yep, that's what he is going to do. He's going to walk up there, kill some Forge Guard. But we remember, as a semi-decent Protectorate player this time, to battle all the jacks first. I think we get 3 of the 4 jacks. Then we're going to have the Templar activate here and go swing on some Forge Guard. Even with their arm bonus, just bringing them up to, I think, an arm 19, that's no problem for the Templar here to wipe out these dudes. One of them toughed, but we have enough focus on him, thanks to power up, to wipe out those 3. And that Templar is going to be arm 25 under feet, so he is not really in any danger where he is right now. Gun bunnies aren't going to do anything to him. Shots from the bottom siege crawler is not going to do much. Could only maybe get 1 or 2 forge guard on him too, so not a big deal. But anyway, this is the Archon in the bottom. He swung with Grievous and cleared a couple dudes, a couple forge guard. That allowed the initiates to press forward. They want to at least be in this zone. It's going to be pretty impossible for me to get anything to contest the Merc player's flag this turn, just with where the big base is in front of it. But we're killing 1 forge guard with the initiates. We're measuring a charge there, and we remember that we're staggered. So we're like, maybe we'll just hide behind the initiates that have set defense. That could have been a mistake. I could have maybe flanked wider just to make the Merc player decide if he kills it, and then the next turn be able to contest the flag, but that's what we did here. We're running some initiates up to be a buffer in front of the jacks. I think they're also going to be in range of Durst, and obviously the jacks as well, to shield guard if they need to. Next we activate the Menite Archon top, up in the top zone. And he is charging, making sure I can get as many as possible with the Grievous Thresher swing. And he absolutely cleans up. I think he kills 5 or 6 Forge Guard with this swing up there. So good job, buddy. Yep, that looked like 5. I'm trying to think next. I'm not really going to be able to do much to the gun bunnies in the middle. But again, I'm not too worried about them. I pull one from the rack. Durst is going to, I believe, what's he going to do? He's going to walk up. He's going to feat. He boundless charges a Sanctifier. That's right. Because Sanctifier is going to be touching that water up there. So before that, the Templar ran up and is base to base in front of Durst. So Durst can actually utilize his feat. The Templar charges now. I think he's up to full thanks to some of the souls that he had from me killing other stuff. So he's going in. He's going to kill a couple Forge Guard here. It's kind of hard to see, but he does okay. He's not able to sadly get into that top zone. There's too much beef in front of his face. So he's trying, but here we're running the last initiate who's able to actually get into that zone and contest it, which is a big deal. We run the mechanic up to score our flag. Which is going to make the score 1-1, tied for both sides. Merc's turn 3. So Ossrum decides after some debating to drop snipe off of Harlowe because he's exactly where he needs to be. He does upkeep Bullet Dodger and Fire for Effect. But my goal this turn is to clear the top zone, score my flag in the top zone, and hopefully be able to shoot the mechanic off of his flag while keeping something in his zone and obviously the central zone where I already have stuff. That would bring me up 3-1. So that's my game plan here. I'm definitely not going to score the central zone, really even this whole game. That's what I'm thinking right now. No spoiler, there's a lot of meat there, and they're all mostly arm 25 or arm 23, I think, on the Sanctifiers. Yep, because they're 19 base, so that's a lot of meat in the middle. We're going to activate first with the Forge Guard over there on the top. They're charging the Sanctifier. And I believe they do a little bit of damage to the Sanctifier, but there were only 3. So next we activate the Driller, who's going to walk up into the pocket, and he is going to paste the Archon. He's blowing, so that was his first attack. with his open fist now. We'll remove the Archon. He then takes a swing on the Initiate that was in the zone, kills him, and does a final swing on the Sanctifier, which does blows up the damage a bit, does about a third of the jack. So good job, Driller. We're now activating the Siege Crawler on the top. He rolls 2 total shots for the crappy gun on top. One of them just plinks off the mechanic on the flag, so that's fantastic. One of the other big shots I take at the rack because the rack doesn't have focus. We kill the rack. The rack blows up. I had to double check that it does blow up. It kills one of the choir boys. Just misses Durst. Not that he could have been hurt really this turn anyway, because he's base to base with the jack. But then we are also taking our stomp attack on the Sanctifier, which does nothing. And then I believe we opt not to shoot that jack. Oh, there's my beautiful head. We opt not to shoot that jack, hoping not to stagger our own driller there. So next, I think we're debating if we activate the Forge Guard in the bottom or the Crawler in the bottom. We decide to go with the Artillery Corps here and moves up. He decides, I'm thinking about what I shoot. Everything has a shield guard or it's arm 25, so I just decide to shoot the one that's next to Durst. I think I miss. It deviates back and does nothing, which it would have done nothing if it hit anyway, so not a big deal there. We're activating Ossrum now. Ossrum bumps up a little bit. And he puts out the Unstoppable Force, and then he's done. So then right there we saw a gun bunny running up and tapping the Templar and both Templars to push them out of the way so that Durst isn't getting that ability to shunt damage to them anymore. And then we go with the 2 single shot gun bunnies here and we shoot at Durst. He's camping 3, but I figured let's put some damage into him and make him play a little more caddy the rest of the game. And I think we do like 3 or 4 points to him there, thanks to powerful attack. This was the other artillery corps running centrally. Harlowe ends up taking all of his shots at Durst. Durst does use the rest of his focus to mitigate some of this damage because it's dice off 6. But you can see there we do have him maybe a fourth of the way dead. And I'm fine with that. Here we're just jamming with the Forge Guard, the unit with Guvul. They are press forwarding, but not all of them are going to be able to charge. You'll see a little bit later in this turn, I do retroactively, I think actually right there, I retroactively go back to my maintenance phase and bring back 3d3 Grunts from both Siege Crawlers and Guvul. That's where I remember there, so we did fix that. The Siege Crawler in the bottom zone goes up, rolls a bunch of shots. He takes all of them at the Archon, not doing a whole lot of damage. When he takes, that was his first big shot. His second big shot will drift back onto Guvul and some more of the Forge Guard. And he actually spikes the damage there with double 6, leaving Guvul on 1. So Guvul has to check his pants. There's something in his pants there that came out of his butt. So glad we put that on the internet forever, and that can't be unsaid. So that's great. But that Siege Crawler is contesting that zone, which is fantastic. And we just leave our gunner back to score 3-1. Protectorate turn 3. So I am in a pretty poor spot here, being down 1-3. I have nothing besides Durst to score my top flag, and there are 2 unhurt Siege Crawlers that I think have 40 health each at arm 19 that I have not touched yet. So really what I'm trying to do here is clear as much as I can while still contesting what I can, so I don't automatically lose. At least that's my thought process when I'm starting this turn. I'm hoping to be able to clear most of that bottom zone between the Archon, Initiates, and the Champion, and a Sanctifier there. But we'll see how that goes for me here. Choir goes first, and we battle the top 3 jacks. So 2 of the Templars in the center, and the Sanctifier in the top zone. The Sanctifier, or the Templar with Hallowed Avenger walks up to the Gun Bunny that's engaging, that did all the bulldozing last turn, and decides to just blow up the damage rolls like you do, and remove it from the table, which he should. It's a light jack that's not under feet, so we kill that there. Next, I'm charging in with the Initiates. I want to put some pressure on Ossrum, since really he just has artillery crews in front of him. So I'm charging 1 on the topmost single shot gun bunny and 2 on the bottommost single shot gun bunny. We do a little bit of damage to each, but both I believe are still fully functional. Apologies if my dog is showing up in the audio here. Someone is not at the door, but he thinks that there is someone. Here we decide to go with Durst. I realized at this point in the game that I could run to the flag to probably score it, but that's kind of like a fleeting thought. I end up just charging in, doing a truckload of damage to the light gun bunny, but not killing it. I'm hoping that in a normal game that the other player might freak out and try to do everything they can to attack Durst. So that was kind of my thinking there. In a normal game, I might make a decision like that. If it's the right one, I'm not sure. But here we're just activating the topmost Sanctifier, and we're beating on the Driller. I don't think we killed the Driller, which is pretty sad at this point, because we want to at least try to contest that top zone. But now we are activating the Archon, who clears a couple Forge Guard, no problem, with Grievous. Here we got the Champion walking around. He's going to swing with his mount and his sword to kill 2 Forge Guard, which will then free up the Initiates to charge in. Looks like 1 tough there, which is a big deal. I'm not remembering why I now moved up. Oh, I might have rolled it back and took a Swift Vengeance swing there. I think that's what we did there. So this is the Archon actually activating. Sorry for a couple of the maintenance flubs here. It's a lot to keep track of when you're just playing yourself. So, but next we activate with the Sanctifier, who's going to get in this zone, and he's going to clear up a couple Forge Guard. He really didn't have a line to. I guess he could have ran. No, he couldn't have even ran with Boundless, because you need to charge to get that the Pathfinder, I believe. So I don't think he could have contested that flag from where he was sitting. So what this means is the other player, myself, the Merc player, will score up to 5-1 at the end of the turn. Not winning him the game, but he is going to be able to he could just say end and score up to 7-1. But we'll see what we do in the next turn. So with the scenario game in the bag and the caster right in front of my face, I want to see if Ossrum can solo Durst, which seems like a fun experiment. If I really was going to do this for real, I'd run the gun bunnies out of the way, take 2 artillery shots at Durst, and then charge in. But I was getting pretty tired in the day here, and eyes were getting sore. So we charge in, we boost the hit, hoping to do a crit decap on Durst. We get the hit, but we don't get the decap. Durst, I believe, is on 1 or 2 transfers here. We buy and boost damage to only take a couple points. So Durst is half dead, you can see there. We buy again. We buy again, roll a 5, missing Durst. And then we buy again, and the damage is double 6, which leaves Durst on 3. So Ossrum cannot solo Durst. Thank you guys so much for staying by, or for stopping by. We're going to have more of these coming out soon. We're going to have more live streams. We're going to even have maybe a crazy high edited battle report coming your way sometime soon. So thank you guys for 1,000 subs. Thank you guys for all the watch hours. And you just have a great night. Bye.